Right now, millions of Americans born before 1966 are about to see a change in their Social Security check, and most of them have no idea it's coming. Some will get more money, some will get less, and a small group, if they act fast, could lock in a benefit they'll never be able to claim again after this month. Here's the part that will shock you. The Social Security Administration just rolled out updates that affect how your monthly payment is calculated, when you can claim, and what happens if you're still working. And the biggest mistake people are making right now? They're waiting to find out what happened after the change already hits their bank account. Don't be that person. Stay with me, because in the next few minutes I'm going to walk you through exactly what changed, who it affects, and what you should do before the end of June. Here's what we're covering today. Number 1. The specific June update from the Social Security Administration and what it actually means for your check. Number 2. Who benefits the most and who needs to be careful. Number 3. The earnings rule that catches working seniors completely off guard. Number 4. A change to spousal and survivor benefits that almost nobody is talking about. And number 5. The one phone call or online move you should make this week to protect your benefits. Let's get into it. Let's be clear right out of the gate. The Social Security Administration makes adjustments throughout the year. Some are big, some are small. But the updates rolling out this June hit a specific group harder than anyone else. People born before 1966. Why that birth year? Because 1966 is the dividing line for what the SSA calls your full retirement age, or FRA. If you were born before 1960, your full retirement age is 66. If you were born between 1960 and later, it's 67. But here's what most people don't realize. The SSA has been quietly recalculating benefit amounts based on updated earnings records, cost of living adjustments, and new rules around what counts as covered income. And for people born before 1966, many of whom spent years in jobs that didn't pay into Social Security, like certain government or teaching positions, this recalculation can swing your monthly check by hundreds of dollars. One woman in Ohio, a retired school teacher named Margaret, received a letter in May saying her Social Security benefit was being recalculated. She had worked 14 years in a public school system before switching to a private employer. She expected good news. What she got instead was a reduction of $212 a month. No warning, no explanation in plain English, just a new number. We'll come back to Margaret's story in a moment, because what she did next actually worked. Takeaway from Section 1. If you were born before 1966 and have any years of non-covered employment in your history, even from decades ago, your benefit may be affected by this recalculation. Pull up your My Social Security account at SSA.gov and check your earnings history right now. Most people remember the big cost of living adjustment from January this year, the 2.5% COLA increase that took effect at the start of the year. But here's what almost nobody caught. There's a secondary correction period that happens every spring, sometimes extending into June, where the SSA reconciles COLA payments for people who had changes in their benefit status during the previous year. That includes people who started benefits mid-year, had their benefits suspended or reinstated, were affected by the earnings test, had Medicare premium changes that altered their net deposit. If any of those situations sound familiar, your June check may look different from your May check, and not just because of rounding. Here's the real danger. A lot of seniors see a different dollar amount in their account and assume it's a bank error. They don't call, they don't investigate, and if the SSA made a mistake in their favor, they could end up owing money back months later. That's not a scare tactic. The SSA can and does recover overpayments, sometimes years after they happened. A retired postal worker in Georgia named Harold found out the hard way. He received $140 extra per month for 9 months. A total of $1,260, because of an error during a benefit reinstatement. When the SSA caught it, they reduced his monthly check for over a year to recover the funds. Harold didn't do anything wrong, but he paid for it anyway. Takeaway from Section 2. When your June deposit arrives, compare it dollar for dollar with May. If anything changed, even by a few dollars, log in to SSA.gov or call 1-800-772-1213 and ask for an explanation in writing. Catching it early gives you options. Catching it late does not. Now here's the one that surprises people the most. If you are collecting Social Security before your full retirement age and you are still working, the SSA limits how much you can earn before they start withholding part of your benefit. In 2025, that limit is $22,320 per year. For every $2 you earn above that limit, the SSA withholds $1 of your benefit. But wait, it gets more complicated. In the year you reach your full retirement age, the limit jumps to $59,520, and the withholding ratio drops to $1 for every $3 over the limit. And the part nobody talks about is, after you hit full retirement age, the earnings limit disappears entirely. You can earn as much as you want without losing a single dollar of Social Security. Here's where the June update matters for people born before 1966. If you turned 66 this year, which puts your birth year right at $1,959, you are now crossing into a different withholding calculation mid-year. The SSA recalculates what it owes you for months you were over the limit, and it does this in batches. June is often when those retroactive adjustments show up. A 66-year-old retired nurse in Texas named Diane had been working part-time at a clinic. She earned $31,000 last year while collecting Social Security at 65. The SSA withheld benefits during that period. But when she hit 66 in March, those withheld amounts started coming back, recalculated into her new monthly benefit. Her June check was $380 more than her May check. She thought it was a mistake. It wasn't. That was her money coming back to her. Takeaway from Section 3. If you were working while collecting early Social Security benefits, check whether you hit or crossed your full retirement age this year. The SSA should automatically adjust your benefit upward, but errors happen. Confirm it happened correctly. Let me tell you the rest of Margaret's story. The retired Ohio teacher we mentioned earlier. Margaret is 67. She spent 14 years teaching 5th grade in a public school, then spent 22 more years working for a private company. When she claimed Social Security at 65, she was told her benefit was around $1,100 a month. She built her retirement budget around that number. Then, in May, completely out of nowhere, a letter arrived. Her benefit was being reduced to $888. The reason? Something called the Windfall Elimination Provision, or WEP. Because Margaret had spent years in a public school system that didn't withhold Social Security taxes, the SSA uses a different formula to calculate her benefit. Margaret panicked. She thought someone had made an error. She almost didn't call because she figured it would be too complicated to fight. But she did call, and after speaking with an SSA representative and submitting her full earnings record, including a pension statement from the school district, she learned that her benefit had been calculated correctly, but her pension amount had been slightly overstated in their records. She submitted a correction. 3 months later, her benefit went back up to $1,042. She didn't recover everything, but she recovered something because she made the call. The lesson? Never assume the SSA is right, and never assume it's too complicated to challenge. This one may be the most important section in this entire video, so if you've been half listening, pay attention right now. The SSA has updated its procedures for processing spousal and survivor benefits, particularly for people born before 1966, who may be eligible for both their own retirement benefit and a benefit based on a spouse's record. Here's the rule in plain English. If you are married or divorced after at least 10 years of marriage, you may be eligible for a spousal benefit worth up to 50% of your spouse's full retirement amount. If your spouse has passed away, you may be eligible for a survivor benefit worth up to 100% of what your spouse was receiving or was entitled to receive. But here's what most people don't realize. You cannot collect both your own benefit and a full spousal or survivor benefit at the same time. The SSA pays you whichever is higher, but they don't always do it automatically. People who don't know to ask don't get it. A 69-year-old widow in Florida named Carol had been collecting her own Social Security benefit of $820 a month for 3 years after her husband passed. Her husband had been a high earner. His benefit at death was over $2,100 a month. Carol didn't know she could apply for the survivor benefit separately. When a friend at her church mentioned it 3 years after her husband died, Carol went to the SSA office. She applied for the survivor benefit, got approved at $2,100, and began receiving that higher amount immediately. But she could not recover the 3 years of higher payments she had missed. That's roughly $46,000 she left on the table. Takeaway from Section 4. If you are a widow, widower, or divorced after 10 or more years of marriage, and you are currently collecting Social Security on your own record, call the SSA this week and specifically ask whether you qualify for a higher spousal or survivor benefit. This is not automatic. You must ask. Here's one more piece of the June puzzle that trips people up every single year. Most people don't realize that Medicare Part B premiums are deducted directly from your Social Security check. In 2025, the standard Part B premium is $185 a month. But if your income is above a certain threshold, $106,000 for individuals, $212,000 for married couples, you pay more. This is called IRMAA, the Income-Related Monthly Adjustment Amount. And here's the June connection. The SSA reviews income data from 2 years ago to set your premium. So right now, your 2025 premium is based on your 2023 income. If you had a big income year in 2023, maybe you sold a house, took a large IRA withdrawal, or had capital gains, you could be paying a higher Medicare premium right now without fully understanding why your check is smaller than expected. The part nobody talks about is, you can appeal this. If your income has dropped significantly since 2023 because you retired, lost a spouse, or simply earn less now, you can file a life-changing event form with the SSA and request a lower premium based on your current income. That one form can add $100 to $400 back to your monthly check. Takeaway from Section 5. Log into SSA.gov or review your benefit statement and find the line item for Medicare Part B deduction. If it looks higher than $185, find out why. If your income has dropped significantly since 2023, file a life-changing event appeal. Form SSA-44 before the end of June. Let's bring it all together. Number 1. If you were born before 1966, your benefit may be affected by the SSA's spring recalculation, especially if you spent time in a job that didn't withhold Social Security taxes. Log in and check your earnings record. Number 2. When your June deposit arrives, compare it to May. If the amount changed and you don't know why, call the SSA immediately and ask for an explanation in writing. Number 3. If you were working while collecting early Social Security and you have recently hit your full retirement age, confirm that the SSA has adjusted your benefit upward for the months they withheld payments. It should happen automatically, but verify it. Number 4. If you are a widow, widower, or divorced after 10 years of marriage, do not assume you are collecting the highest benefit available to you. Call and ask specifically about spousal and survivor benefits. This is money you may be entitled to, but you have to ask for it. Number 5. If your Medicare Part B premium looks unusually high, check whether an IRMAA adjustment is being applied, and file Form SSA-44 if your income has decreased since 2023. Here's the one action I want you to take today. Go to ssa.gov or call 1-800-772-1213 and review your current benefit statement. Not next week, today. Look at what you're receiving, what's being deducted, and what your earnings record shows. If anything looks off, write it down and call the SSA directly. You've earned every dollar of this benefit. You paid into this system for decades. The only thing standing between you and the money you deserve is knowing what to ask and having the courage to ask it. That's exactly what Margaret did, and it made a real difference in her life. Now it's your turn. If this video helped you, hit the like button. It helps other seniors find this information when they need it most. And subscribe, because we cover Social Security, Medicare, and retirement benefits every single week. We'll see you in the next one.